Welcome back, intuitive heroines, to the Be Her podcast with me, Deb D. We are at episode 7, and today we are pulling the Band-Aid off, the Band-Aid that's underneath the Band-Aid. So what this podcast is already teaching me, showing me, and delighting me in is that it's its own journey. So I began knowing that I wanted to share stories of intuitive heroines for inspiration, for navigation, for just sharing more women's stories. That was the premise. This is what I want to do. This is not a teaching podcast. This is not a here's your how to for your intuition or how do I actually step into heroine status. I mean, it is, but it's all in the underbelly of the stories that this podcast invites to bring to the light, to bring to our ears, to bring to our wonder. And already this podcast is showing me raw, unfiltered, just do the damn thing, which is exactly what I did this week. Okay, strap in, my friends, buckle up, because we're about to go all the way out there to the Blue family. So this past week, so today it's Thursday, I'm only 2 days away from it. Oh my goodness, it already feels like I've lived like a couple of decades since Tuesday, I must say. So Tuesday was the 5th of May, 2026, and it is the day that I, for the first time ever, did something out loud, live, in front of other people that I have been scared of doing for years. And it was more than I could have expected, and I'm going to share it with you in this episode. So in this episode, I'm going to share with you what it is. What did I do? Why did I do it on the 5th of May? Maybe you already know the answer to that. But then I'm actually going to share with you what happened when I did it. So let's peel back to the 5th of May. So the 5th of May, 2002, Sage Joseph Driscoll was born. That's the day Sage came earthbound. So the 5th of May is his, Earth Day, I guess you could call it. I mean, it's his birthday, but now that he's up in spirit, it's his Earth Day. And so the 5th of May this year, I decided that I was going to pull off the Band-Aid. And that Band-Aid is to live channel Sage and the Blue family. And I knew I needed to do it. It has been brewing for years, and I knew that if I didn't do it on Sage's birthday, live with women inside the Be Her community, I could feel it inside me. It was like, if you don't do this now, Deb, then you may miss the window, or you're not actually turning up for what you say you turn up for, which is the intuitively inspired life, being the heroine. And so I was like, I'm doing the damn thing. But let's back up again. Sage and the Blue family, what the? Okay. So this story comes 13 years ago. 13 years ago, Sage unexpectedly died, 1 month before his 11th birthday. So I am in complete shockwaves, trying to find ground, actually feeling really deeply connected to my intuition and to spirit, because I really desperately wanted to stay connected to Sage. A couple of weeks into my new journey as a grieving mother, I felt inspired to connect with Helen the healer. Helen is a woman in Australia who I'd been working with for a couple of years. And yes, she's a healer. She does hands-on healing. She has a lot of psychic ability. She's amazing. So I made an appointment to see Helen the healer. The day that I turn up, she kind of half jokingly says to me, "Oh, I'm really glad that you're here because now Sage can shut up." And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Sage knows that you are coming today. And so all night he was waking me up with messages that he wants me to ensure you get." And I was like, and this is what I'm here for. I want to know, is my son okay? What's going on the other side? Did he find my dad? Like, I wanted anything and everything. I was going to take every crumb. And the thing that I received that stayed with me that day is Sage's message. Mum, I'm okay. I'm with my blue family. Now, both Helen and I had no idea who the blue family was. Absolutely no idea. We guessed that it's maybe his soul family or a collection of souls that are helping him heal as he transitions. Like, all that I knew was Sage was okay and he was with his blue family. My mother's heart loved the fact that he was with family. There was some peace in that, but there was a lot of curiosity. Who are these blue family and what are they doing with my son? Is he going to stay there or? So fast forward many years, and I've been in connection with Sage the whole time. I would feel him in dreams and meditations. I would receive messages from him either through my intuition, through my writing, through another, through chance, possibility, serendipity. And then I received a message, this is quite a few years ago now, where the message was, we need you to release a little bit more because you're blocking the channel. I was like, okay, what's that? Release what and what channel? And they said, we want to give you more information. We want to send more to you, but you're in the way because you're holding on to Sage too tightly as your son. We want you to now see Sage as a spirit who you connect to. And I remember this day really clearly. I was laying in my bed. I was living in Barbados at the time. I'm laying in my bed. It's mid-morning. I hadn't been able to work that day because there was some disturbance there in my spirit. And that's why I was like, okay, I'm just going to lay down and ask, like, tell me what the fuck is going on, which is when I received this message. And let me tell you clearly what my response was to their request that I release Sage a little bit more. My response was, fuck no. No, you can't have him. You already took him from Earthbound. I'm not releasing anymore. And I'm stubborn. I'm willful. I'm petulant. And I didn't let go for a couple more years. I actively ignored all requests. I stubbornly stayed in my right as the mother to stay connected to my son in the way that I had developed that connection. I'd worked for years on developing that connection with Sage. I was like, I'm not giving it up. I'm not. And obviously I wasn't ready. For a couple of years later, on Sage's birthday, I hear again, Mum, I'm okay. We're ready now. It's time now. And that's when the Blue family started to come back in. And they started to share with me that Sage was always with the Blue family. When he came earthbound, he left the Blue family, which is a collection of souls, to come earthbound and live his almost 11 years of life. So he was always going to return to the Blue family. And what I know now is that it was always designed that I would be an earthbound channel for the Blue family in right about now, the 2020s. Because the first time they asked me to release a little bit more, that was 2020, when the whole world was changing. The 2020s as a decade, like, global game changer. We've already seen it. We're in the 6th year of that. And trust me, there's more coming. And so, yeah, I took my time getting there. But 2 days ago, I went there. I gathered some women from the Be Her community. In fact, all of the women inside the Be Her community were invited and a handful of us turned up. into a Zoom room where I didn't know what was going to happen. But I knew it's time to do what they have been asking me to do for years, which is spend time with Sage and the Blue family and channel messages at service to whoever is there to listen. Seriously, that's all I knew. I couldn't plan it. I didn't know what was going to happen. And I tell you what, it was dynamic and it was amazing. And I'm going to tell you all about it inside this episode. But before we get there, I just want to dig a little bit deeper into the intuitively lived life of the heroine and how we are asked to evolve and what happens next. Because I want to be honest about that part, because I think this is really important when we're talking about stepping into heroine status, listening to our intuition as our navigation and our internal guidance system. It doesn't mean you're suddenly in this fairy tale where everything works out. Sometimes you're asked to do something that doesn't make any sense. And when we're asked to do new things, even if they are inspired by the universe and so amazing, they still have to come through us in our real humanness, which means we're going to be challenged. We're going to be stretched. It's going to take us to places in our mind and in our heart that maybe we're not expecting. Because that's what happened to me. Like, it took me almost 6 years to say yes to their request. Now, did I waste time? Maybe a little bit, yeah. I have to be honest about it. There was times in the process where I actively chose to forget about it. It was easier to not think about my evolution. And it was the global pandemic. I'd moved from Brooklyn to Barbados and then was waiting for the Trinidad and Tobago borders to open. And then when they opened, I came here, and then within months, Smokey and I got married. And then, then my sister's cancer journey progressed. And like, I could go on and on with what, we've all been living the 2020s. It's all been happening. Life has been lifing. And admittedly, underneath all of that, I knew that this work was there, this request was there, and I actively chose in chapters to block it out. And so I say that really clearly because I'm a really honest person. I want to tell the truth in these stories. It's not like, oh my God, guess what? I can channel. It's so easy. No. And I think sometimes as women, we don't always give ourselves the credit of how much is asked of us at the points of change and evolution. Like, that in itself is a whole chapter. And so for anyone out there who's hearing this and feeling like I'm behind or I'm not turning up for myself, maybe that's true on some level, but also you get to take your time. My mother's heart wasn't ready in 2020. I needed the next couple of years to get to Sage's 21st Earth birthday to feel my mother heart release a bit more with if he was still here, he'd be 21, which means I would release him into adulthood. So maybe I need to release a little bit more, and so many more chapters within my own development. But the one I really want to highlight here is this. I held back because of my relationship with Sage and not wanting to release. Letting go is not easy for me. I don't know if it's easy for anybody, which is why, my book is called A Series of Surrenders, because I had to surrender more than once, and I continue to surrender. 13 years later, I'm continuing to surrender. But the other thing I want to share really clearly is I was scared. I was scared of what this would mean for me. What does it mean if I'm a woman who says out loud, I channel my son and the souls that he hangs out with? What does that mean for me? And what it meant for me in the early parts of the story are a lot of fear about people will think I'm weird. People won't believe me. Will people think I'm making it up? I had fear of responsibility. If I open this channel, what am I responsible for? What am I actually saying yes to? And then it would come back to fear of being shamed, persecuted. And this comes up for us as women a lot. We think that we're not allowed because the world told us we have to stay in neat boxes, stay in your lane. Or we feel if we were to do what we really wanted to do, what would everyone else think about that? I mean, if we're honest about it as women, that holds a lot of us back. It held me back for years. It really did. I didn't want to say out loud, I am a clear and present channel for Sage and the Blue family. I had chapters where I was like, can you just give me another narrative? Can I just be somebody else? Like, can we just change costumes? Yeah. And the answer was like, no, you've been chosen for this and we're just going to wait for you to be ready because, by the way, we're ready. And let me tell you, they were ready on Tuesday. So we open the Zoom room. We're all there. I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel completely safe because I am with these women who know me really well. They've heard a lot of stories about Sage. They've watched me evolve as a leader, as a teacher, as an intuitive. And I'd been spending some time in the days leading up to it connecting to Sage and the Blue family. And I felt like I didn't know what was going to happen, but I was ready. So we opened up the channeling to Sage and the Blue family. And this is the part that I'm not going to gatekeep. Because the thing that they were really clear about is it's time now for women. It's time now for women. So we spent quite a bit of time together in the Zoom room. So I'm not going to go through every single message that was brought down, but I am going to tell you the core of what I believe is important for all of us to know. So this is me ripping off the Band-Aid underneath the Band-Aid. I haven't prepared what I'm about to say now. I'm going to ask Sage and the Blue family to come down and be with me now and share what is it that we want the global audience to know outside of that Zoom room. On Tuesday night, we now open up this leadership conversation. So the first thing they say is it's all about what we were talking about with leadership. It's all about the leadership for women. So now they're showing me that there's more than one thing happening at the same time. The world is really messy right now. There's big, big changes, deeper layers of changes happening, and they really don't want women looking at the mess. They understand that some people their role is to work through cleaning up the mess. But for many of us as women, they're asking us to turn and look a different way and look in the way that feels good for us, look in a way that feels empowering, look in a brand new direction for women now. There's a lot of anger, and we need to rise above the anger of what has happened to women in the past, what is happening to women now, what is being revealed now around what has been happening to women. All of that is so true, but that is the story that will take us back, not forward. They're saying forward, 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 forward now for women. So the thing that they showed me on Tuesday night, I just want to go there. So, Sage and the Blue family, we're just going to go there with what they shared on Tuesday night, which I think is really important for all of us to hear, which is leadership for women is the navigation now. And what they were really clear about is it's not about suddenly becoming a leader of a brand new organization or being the leader of a movement or a leader of anything other than yourself. So the thing that they first were really clear about is become the leader and then the leader will lead. That being in leadership will lead you to where you need to go next. And not everyone is going to be the leadership of a group or a movement or an organization, but everyone has the opportunity to become leaders now, leaders within. Not a leader on the outside, like I'm a leader because I lead these people. I'm a leader because I have this business that does this thing. They're saying that's the old narrative of leadership. They're asking women to do more than this sense of self-sovereignty, which is like self-actualization, which is like, I've got myself. They're saying it's more than that. They're asking women to build leadership from the inside out, which is why they shared with me, this is why we're asking you to invite women into heroine status. It's this more than main character energy, it's leadership energy. And then they're saying that when more women step into understanding that I'm a leader, I'm the leader of my life. And when I step into that for myself, then I will be shown what's next. So the other thing that they're saying is that what's coming is so new that you really can't prepare for it. It's just like Deb did when she went into the circle on Tuesday night. She didn't know what was going to happen, but she knew it was time for it to happen. This is exactly the same thing for women. That's what they're showing me really clearly. Everyone, stop trying to make meaning making. Stop trying to construct the future. Just actually get into the leadership, which I just find so interesting. So tell me some more things about women and leadership. Tell me, yeah, they're saying you get to decide what it looks and feels like. They're saying, oh, make it fun. Make it fun. Decide who you want to be inside you. How do you want to lead your life? Some women are going to choose to lead their life with like just being the full empath that they are, lead with empathy and kindness, also protecting themselves at the same time and learning that. And inside the leadership, they'll learn that. And then there's some other women who are just like, you know what, I'm going to do that damn thing that I've always wanted to do. And for 20 years, I've been holding back because I thought I wasn't allowed. So for some women, it is actually a big call to do something brand new in your life. And then they're saying there's a lot of women out there who are deeply creative and not giving enough space to their creativity. And so then they're saying, can you not see that you already have everything that you need? Just please step into doing what you want to do rather than what you feel that you should do. I'll tell you what I know about the Blue family, my friends, is they are really cheeky. They're also really quite insistent. When they see something that is relevant for us or needed for us, it comes through like really like, did you get it? Did you get the memo? So I'm going to, this is just the beginning of this adventure for us, friends, with at times through my writing, through the podcast, through even like I know that they've been present with me in some of my teaching and also some of the work I do with women in leadership. But what they're really, really clear on is, and they said this on Tuesday night, and they're just saying it again now, we're really happy when you speak about leadership. And that's what I got because I thought yesterday, being Wednesday, I thought I'm going to do the reflection podcast yesterday. And yesterday I was just tired. I felt really exhausted. And so I was like, I'm going to give it a little bit more time. And then when I woke up this morning, it was like, that's what Be Her is about. Women's leadership. Brand new way of us understanding it and embracing it and embodying it. And I don't even know what that fully means, but I know that the Blue family are saying, we're really happy when you speak about leadership. And can you please do that? And the other thing that they've shown me again and again and again and again, so I'm just going to give this as a frame for everybody, is Women reclaiming their intuitive wisdom supports them in understanding who the fuck you are, like it turns the lights back on so that then you can see the leader within. So they're really clear about this. They're like, Deborah, talk to more women about their intuitive wisdom, not so that everyone can, start to play in the magic realm like you do. Start to talk to them more about intuition as a practical skill. And what they're showing me now is like for such a long time for women, it's like we've been running the race without hydrating. And our intuitive wisdom is like the hydration for us, for our own channels. And for some of us, yeah, it's going to give us connection to spirit. It's going to give us connection to wonder and creativity. And for some of us, it's just going to ensure we're hydrated from the inside out. Hydrated in terms of like feeling buoyant and flexible within ourselves. Because what happens when you connect to your intuition in a way that works without focus. Let me just stop and say that again. Works without focus. What do I mean by that? When you're not trying to be intuitive, it's just a part of who you are. It's like, I'm intelligent, I'm intuitive, I'm fun, I'm creative. It's just a part of you rather than being the destination. It's one of the jet engines, right? And so they're saying that when more women can just turn that on inside, so it's just running, it's just fueling the system, and they continue to return to hydration, and when that happens for women, it means that all of that backstory around how hard it's been to trust ourselves, how much we have fucking dealt with, am I worthy? Am I enough? Fuck. They're saying intuitive wisdom is just going to delete that narrative. Delete that narrative. So the intuitive wisdom for the intuitive heroine is actually more about permission, getting everything running really clearly so that you can see yourself and then see the leader that you are. And then when you're in leadership, you will be led to where you need to go. Boom. I feel that so clearly in my own story because they kept saying to me, and I say they now, right? But for a long time I was like, it's my intuition. And yeah, it's coming through my intuitive channel, but now I can start to see what's Deb D and what's the blue family, right? It's very different vibration when the blue family come through. Very cheeky and very direct. Anyway, they've been saying to me for a long time, for a couple of years, step into leadership, step into leadership, step into leadership. And I've been kind of fumbling around trying to figure out what that is, right? And then when I was like, okay, that's it, pulling off the Band-Aid, I am going to be an intuitive channel for Sage and the Blue family, suddenly I don't have to try to be a leader anymore. I know myself to be a leader. I'm a leader of me. I've fully accepted who I am and what I'm here to do. And now it's like, oh yeah, I'm a leader. Instead of I'm a leader because I'm the founder of the Be Her Collective. I mean, that's true on paper, but it's not how I feel leadership. I feel leadership when I am fully connected to who I am and then unapologetically being that woman. Yeah. Women, let's all do that. You're going to hear me sigh a lot on this podcast because I just love a good sigh. It feels like a full stop for me. Everyone at my yoga class that I go to here on the island, they all know me as Deb the Sire because I sigh a lot in yoga. It's a massage for your soul. It's a real release. Whew. And we are out there now. We have just ripped off the Band-Aid, beyond the Band-Aid. All the Band-Aids are off. We are out. Women, it is time for us to step into our leadership, more than self-sovereignty, more than self-actualization. Just step into who you are. Claim that it's your turn. And then let's wait and see what happens next, because Sage and the Blue family are really clear. Women, please just go that way, and then we're going to tell you some more. There's more coming, but we can't let you know until you're in position to receive it. So please let me know how this episode lands. What questions do you have for the Blue family? Because they're here for it. They are chatty and want to be chatting with us. So let's play along. I definitely will be through my writing. Stay connected to me on Substack. If you want to stay more connected to what Sage and the Blue family are up to, what I'm doing around leadership, what's happening for the intuitive heroines globally, all of that above and beyond this podcast, you are going to find it on Substack. If you go to Substack, it's going to be in the show notes. But if you're just listening now and you're wanting to flick through or just remember it, at the Be Her Collective, my publication is called The Intuitive Heroine. And of course, this is the Be Her podcast. So we're out there now, my friends. I'm a leader, you're a leader, you're a leader, I'm a leader. No more following the leader, because we are the leaders of the new narrative, according to me, Sage, and the Blue family, and make it now, my friend, according to you. All right, I'm going to see you in the next episode, or maybe on Substack. Come and say hi. Blessings to you. And my final curious question for you is, what Band-Aid are you going to be ripping off this week? It's time. Let's do the damn thing.